The new anniversary celebration event just came out, from Ashes to Ashes, and there's a specific area where you can farm, frankly, really good stages. They have basically every gear set in the game, from gear raid 1, 2, and 3. You can get demon soldiers from any of them. It's pretty good, and not only that, you can get keystones. The rates feel better than usual. This is definitely something you want to try to push as soon as possible. After I'm done recording, I'm going back to farming these. And I want to show you guys the minimum requirements you can do. If we look at the clears that most people are doing, aside from mine, which was just there, Legendary Ancient Exclusive Lord, Legendary Ancient Exclusive Lord, all legendaries, all legendaries, all legendaries. It's very hard to even find one that doesn't use a legendary lord. And then you get to mine. I used 3 Legos and 2 Epic Lords, who frankly didn't really do anything, and I beat it. And it wasn't that bad. The gear-wise, it's not like bad gear, but it's not like I had to spring out my best premium gear for this. I just geared everyone well, I had a good strategy, and I beat it. And I'm going to share that with you guys. And then for the people that do have more heroes and more alternatives, I'll show you guys how I beat it for the first time with a full legendary team to kind of give you guys that perspective too. But for this is the team that I used. We're using a Piercer Lord purely just to boost our 2 most important DPS. It's very, very hard to do this stage without them, though I have seen alternatives. Instead of Silas, I have seen Boreas be used. Now, I don't know if it works for under A3, but Boreas does work if you have the gear and the awakenings and blah, 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 blah. Sargak also will replace them. Hex kind of replaces Silas here, and then Sargak replaces Hex. Talon is also a very good option. Yuri is usable. I don't think Calypso is, but Yovar definitely is as well. The Piercers are the most important heroes for this, but there are alternatives if you don't have them, but it is very hard to go around them because they're so impactful. The next one is Nora. If you have been playing the game for beyond a couple months, you should have Nora, and if you have not been playing beyond a couple months, you should not be trying this stage. The stage is for later game players, very clearly. It's okay to farm or even just get to the previous stages, okay? Keep that in mind. Next, we got Greed for slows, Hollow for rage specifically, not really for healing, but for rage. Aelin because she has extra block, Isolde because she has extra block, and she also gives extra block to allies next to her, so Aelin gets even more block, or not Aelin, Avelyn, sorry, gets extra block. We got Lily as another healer, and once again the Lords right there. Let's get into the run. I'll show the gear after, and then the other run very, very quickly. So the first thing we're going to do as we go in is we immediately place Silas down. The faster you get Silas down, the better. You want him to get his rage as soon as possible. His rage is the most important thing. He is going to solo the left side. Now Hex does work, like I said. Boreas does work, like I said. Even though I haven't tested it, I have seen it. But Silas is the best. We're then going to place Hollow here. Hollow is both for the extra damage increase in case your Silas is lacking. Mine is not going to be, but if yours is struggling, this will definitely help him out. And then also for the rage. And the reason why we faced her up is because she will heal a tank up there. Cost is a big issue, and we're not going to be able to have our second healer down for a while. So we're going to really want to get Hollow to heal them in the meantime. As soon as Silas's ult is up, you want to immediately use it and hope that he can solo this guy. If you can't solo this guy, try to tweak the gear a little bit. See if you can do it again. If you really need to, you can put a Lunaria here for a little bit of extra damage, or really anything related to that. It doesn't really matter. Now, we're going to go over to the middle. The middle is very, very difficult, so we're going to put Aelin right here on the left. And then as soon as we get enough cost, we are going to put our Nora right here facing left. Nora is debatably the most important DPS for this. She does a lot of damage. Mine is A1, you do not need A1, you do A0. I just can't exactly lower awakenings. And as soon as these enemies start to get very, very close, in a little bit, we're going to use Nora's ult. We're going to place down Isolde right here. She is going to stay alive very well and also give extra block. As you can see, Aelin, she passively has 5 block with the artifact and just her passive ability. Maybe it's her talent. You know what I mean. And she's going to stay alive there with Hollow's healing. She's going to get shields as well from Isolde. It's going to be great. And Honora is going to clear things as best she can. Now, as soon as Hollow comes back up, we're going to click her ult. And then we're also going to put Lily here as soon as possible, which is going to keep us alive. Now, if you need it, I do recommend you Isolde ult. It'll allow Isolde to cover 5 units instead of 4. And then as soon as we get enough cost, this one's not really too time dependent. We're going to put Hex on the right. Now, Hex can be replaced. I have done it with Sargak. On my original run, I used Sargak instead of Hex. Doesn't really matter. Also, Silas, something of note, his ult lasts long enough where you can kill this mage. Anyways, we're going to place Hex here. Like I said, this is going to clear the right. The right only will ever have 3 units. Then we put Greed for the slows. Greed is built just to put as many slows down as humanly possible because, I mean, we're going to need it. Trust me. Now, what we're going to see here is as soon as these guys get pretty close, also we're going to Hollow ult again, we're going to click our our Honora ult right there to do as much damage to this middle, try to kill them while also getting her ult back for the next wave. Now you can wait a little bit on these guys. If your Hex is not A3, you're going to want to wait a little bit longer than you think you might want to, but I recommend clicking his ult somewhat early. Also make sure to click Isolde ult if things look like they're about to get through. It'll allow a lot of block. Avalyn, also puts constant stuns, which stops them from pushing through. That paired with the slow, the freeze from Honora, if you have her bonded or whatever, that definitely helps as well. If she's not bonded, it doesn't matter. And then Hex is going to clear this. Now, my Hex is A3, so his ult is going to last the whole duration. If it does not last the whole duration, do not worry, because this guy right here on the left will get stuck on these allies that we have here. If the guy on the right goes past your marksman, you automatically lose unless you do something about it. So I recommend trying to focus on the right guy, and then the left guy you can take a little bit more time on. But for this, we're fine here. Alright, so we're gonna keep this going. Hex is gonna kill this. I'm gonna assume that your guy's Hex is not A3, so I'm actually gonna leave him. But by the time that you kill this, you do want to sell him as soon as possible. But because, once again, I'm not sure how the non-A3 works, I'm just gonna leave him there. And we're gonna assume that he's still attacking. Now, over here is the most important part, the most stressful part of this entire match, is dealing with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait a little bit with Silas, and then we're going to do something that I like to call sacrificing. So you might notice that the lords here are not doing anything. They're not geared. It literally doesn't matter what they're built in. We're going to use them as fodder. So what we're going to do here to get an extra deployable slot is we're going to sell Hollow because we no longer need her. We're going to wait until this guy moves a little bit closer. We're going to click our Silas ult to start tearing through everything. And what you're going to see is there's a mage and there's a archer, and Silas is dealing with this guy. So because we don't want him to die, we're going to put our Lunaria here. She's not going to do really much damage at all, but she's going to soak up a mage hit. We're going to put a Bizu down to soak up another mage hit. And the whole idea here is Silas is going to barely finish that guy on his own while sacrificing everyone. Now, obviously, you could build these guys in tank gear. They might survive 2 hits instead of 1, but I just thought it was very funny to do it this way. Once Silas ult is done and everything's dead, you can kind of sell him. Now, we're going to have to be very careful on the top here. Very, very careful. We're going to try to save Isolde ult. We're going to trigger Honora as best we can. Hex should have been sold a while ago, but we're basically going to try to last as long as we possibly can. Here I'm going to Isolde ult to stay alive. We also have Lily passive, keep that in mind. We have shields coming from Isolde, and then we also have slows from Greed, and stuns from Avalyn. I keep messing it up, but you guys get what I mean. Here, we're basically killing everything. We're going to put Hollow down for the extra healing because it is getting very sketchy. Very, very sketchy. And we won. That is the fight right there. Now, it is very, very sketch at the end. But honestly, this is very, very consistent for me. and I have not had any issues. Now, as you can see there, we got our gear. This stage is well worth trying to beat. This is well worth farming, and this is probably the easiest minimum requirement strategy you're going to find. 3 DPS, ton of support, and only epic lords. It's going to be very hard to find stuff that is easier to make. Now, gear-wise, Lunaria had auto-equip gear, literally does not matter at all. Lily, you want to focus on as much attack speed, and healing effect as you can. The rest of the stats don't matter. Elysian Epitaph is the best. Now we're going to go over to Hex. Hex has Soulbound. I just put on whatever Soulbound I had. This is a great piece, don't get me wrong, but it's just what I had laying around. Here, we got some pieces, right? You just want to build him with attack, mainly attack, crit damage, attack speed. He's not getting a hit, so it doesn't really matter. I recommend the exclusive. It might be possible without, but I would farm it if you don't have it. Silas is in this gear. You want to build him with 1 crit damage, 2 attack bonus, ideally, and then whatever left side you have with a max exclusive. If you have a legendary lord, you can lower the gear requirements. If you have, you know, a higher exclusive or higher awakenings, it doesn't matter. Either way, you need to build Silas as your best DPS. Next, Avalon, HP, defense, and then Bastion Ring. I have it base, try to level it. Abizu, auto-equipped, doesn't matter. You want Honora in as much attack as you can. This build is the second most important. It's very important. I have base exclusive, just get her ult up again. You could probably run Tot. Then I have Greed with as much attack speed, healing effect, attack speed, rage regen, and with Mana Spring to get his ults out. Spellcaster's Echo is best, but you can also run Nightmare Samsara, as we can see right here. Now, moving on, we can get to Hollow. Hollow has really bad gear. Oh my goodness, I didn't see this build. She doesn't really need to heal that much. Just try to get her rage regen and attack speed up as much as you can. Ideally more than me. And I would recommend a Euphoric Orb. I would recommend a Scarab. Anything better than this build. I didn't realize I didn't gear her. And then with a Soul Day, just whatever tank gear you have. She didn't really get that low, so you don't really need crazy tank gear. But whatever you have. And that's how you beat it. So, yeah, I hope this helps. Now, let me show you guys how I actually beat it, though. Now, what you guys are going to see is a little bit whale-ish, as you're going to see. I'm just going to show you guys the auto that I did, and I'll try to explain it a little bit. This is just going to be a very minor part of the video. But basically, I used a lot of legendaries. Silas, once again, on the left. Malvira replaces Avalon because she has a ton of block, actually does damage, and is very good. And then Magda for some DPS. Elowen allows Silas to get the rage from anywhere on the map, so she is Lily and Hollow in one. Then we have Honora there as well. So I just used Malvira ult whenever the blocks seem to get a little bit too rough. Silas ult in those kind of periods that I need it. Sargak on the right. Beelzebub is very important for the slows, as you can see there. And then we get our ults back very fast with Honora stomping everything, Magda helping with some damage, and Malvira doing all the block, pulling into her lane if needed. Now, Sargak does so much damage with his basics that I was able to just kind of use him, Morrigan a little bit for some damage, and then burst the guy on the right, and then his basics solve that problem there. Then I waited a bit longer here because my build was a little better, and then I had Lily to protect Silas a little bit, and then Yovar to help with some damage, which I didn't end up needing that much. And then you just finish the last wave as well with whatever you have. And that's how I beat it. So if you have stronger units, you can follow that a little bit more closely. But I think the general thing works with the epics and works with the legendaries. Basically, put healers, put strong marksman, and a mage in the middle. As you can see here, damage stats. It's so much easier this way, obviously. But yeah, I hope this helps anyone out there. I will try to have a stage 6 and then 1 to 5 out ideally soon. These stages are pretty hard, but they're not too restrictive. There's a couple, rough restrictions, but if we look over here, for example, this guy didn't even use a lord. He didn't use Silas. If we go down, I mean, there's a Lady A there, but this guy didn't even use Silas at all. He used Boreas on the left. He used a Kagiri. A5, sure, but there's alternatives, and if you don't have some of these units, just try to play around with some other options. I know Vierna is very good for this as well. Praetus as well is very strong too. This one, also no Silas. This one's a pretty cool run as well, using Demi as an actual DPS is kind of sick, I will say. But yeah, I hope this helps anyone out there. We're close to 10k subs. You guys would like to subscribe to the channel, help me out a little bit. But yeah, that's it from me. Have a good one. Destined signing out.